Why is everything so expensive at the airport? Because they know you are stuck there waiting for a flight. You can't easily leave the airport to go buy food somewhere else, so they jack up the prices. Same with concerts and sports games. The people authority that owns the property charges ridiculously high rents to the vendors on the property. Plus, in many areas there are added taxes tacked on to sales and around the airport. The vendors have to pass this all on to the consumers. Limited options, so small oligopoly toward resources. Plus, it literally does cost more to get goods and services into an airport due to security and franchise vendor fees. Because they know you are stuck in the airport having gone through TSA and are waiting or a flight. Perfect opportunity for a consumer to spend money. Higher operating costs. Airport tenant space costs a lot. Labor is more expensive as everyone and everything needed in the restaurant needs to be screened. And a captive audience with limited or no choice. I think the term is captive demand. You don't have access to the usual competitors for the product because you're isolated from them, so people will still buy the vendor's product at a higher price. It's the same reason amusement parks and sports stadiums and movie theaters can charge so much. Funny, in India 10 years ago a pint of bottled water was $10. I was shocked. Because where else you gonna go to buy the shit that you need? You're there. Captive customer base. What are you gonna do, go somewhere else? Captive audience. The airport is basically a mall you're forced to stay in for a few hours with nothing much else to do but shop. Not to mention those who travel typically have a higher discretionary spending budget. If you forgot to pack something, you can just buy it right there and then without having to figure it out when you get to your destination. I've bought things like power banks and travel outlet adapters for this reason. Also things like souvenirs for the people you forgot to get things for. I'll also usually dump off the rest of my foreign currency at the airport since I usually don't have enough left over to warrant a trip to the bank. I had about 40 euros just sitting in my wallet before I gave it away to someone that was heading back to that neck of the woods. The food and drink is basically a given. If you're hungry, you're going to get something to eat and pay whatever they are charging, especially if there's delays. Drinks, for the same reason, but even more so since you can't bring liquids in the airport. Airports have lots of wealthy people who are time poor and have an immediate need for whatever they are buying. To not charge high prices would simply be leaving money on the table. Location. Little to no competition. Supply and demand. Supply is restricted, therefore price rises. It's fun when you travel because the Paris airport had completely normal prices for stuff. Then you come back to the US and get to spend $20 for a bag of Cheez-Its. Cause they can, you're stuck there. It's either that item or nothing. Because you're trapped, like a rat, in a trap. The cost is relative. Buying a beer at the airport in Missouri is cheaper than a beer at a restaurant in California. Why is everything so expensive in California? Cause there's fools who don't travel often and buy the junk. Food's usually terrible expensive. Myself, as a frequent traveler, I don't purchase a thing. I bring my own snacks, drinks, food, never mess with gift shops. What you going to do? Walk out and go to the competition? If you ever need to get an understanding of why monopolies are bad, airports are perfect.